Princess Flora. At her side is the current head of the House of Huguenot, Lord Gustav. My lady, did I overstep my bounds? What? Oh,
If I may ask, have I behaved discourteously in some way, Princess?
Nothing of the sort. It's just that... it feels like this isn't the first time we've met.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe I've had the...
So you know that you are watching peak anime when there is a bath scene or like a onsen scene for absolutely no reason. Chef's kiss. That's exactly what we have here with Spirit Chronicles. Today we got done watching. This was Spirit Chronicles episode number 6, season 2. And of course, let me just talk about the end of the episode where you basically have like the big villain, you know, the big dude who, you know, really disturbed Rio's life really early on. He was the one who kind of like killed all those dudes that he ended up working with who like slave traded him and stuff before he was Haruto taking over Rio or merging together and stuff like that. Now he has been working with this other kingdom and essentially they're going to attack or do something to the Beltram kingdom because they're bored. So he's basically instigating it, you know, just basically adding a little fuel in that fire. So definitely more stuff to come there. And next episode is called Intruders because now they're going to be focusing on Flora. So if you pay attention to the ED of the show, which totally makes sense, right? If you pay attention to the ED, some of the important, I cannot speak today. Some of the important people is Celia or Celica. Yeah, you have her being the main girl. You have Aisha. You have Flora. You have 𝐒𝐻𝐴𝐴. And then I believe at the end, let me see who else is there too. Let me just make sure I'm quoting it right. So yeah, at the end of the episode, you have Celica as the main B, Aisha, Flora, 𝐒𝐻𝐴𝐴's and then 𝐒𝐻𝐴𝐴's maid, the badass one. So that's kind of who's at the end of the episode, or at the end of the EDs, at the end of the ED at the end of episodes. So that kind of tells us kind of like where the main focuses lie. Now, of course, you're still gonna have Haruto's sister, and you know, you're going to have the isekai girls and stuff. Like, they're still going to be, you know, a huge part of the show, you know, as there was a big focus this episode, you know, where they're being kind of like continue to be taught about spirit magic and they're being continued to be taught the language of the world. But, you know, really, I think it's like, you know, showing us that Latifah exists. She's still a reoccurring character, showing us that Miharu and, what's the girl's name? I keep forgetting the sister's name. But, you know, Miharu and all of them that have been isekai'd over, you know, like they're still a big portion of the show. They're still really important. But right now they're kind of swapping gears and they're more focused on Flora and her potentially being killed. And we also have the other lady as well too, which is Arya, which is, you know, the badass maid girl from 𝐒𝐻𝐴𝐴. And that's kind of where, you know, a big truncation of the story is really going. Then we also had you know, the other character, which was Lucius and stuff, and they're being again instigated by, you know, by the really evil guy. Her name's Aki, by the way. So Aki, the sister. So we still have that as well. But again, Aki, Latifah in a bath, no reason. Super duper peak. That is the anime that we have signed up for. Love it. This episode overall, I think it was about a 7 out of 10 for me. I really think that once we fully transition into more Flora, more Rio, we'll get to know more. One of the things that I am iffy about is, again, we have Haruto, Rio, whatever. We have him hiding his identity from Flora. You know, he could have like said, oh, my name's Haruto, and then looked at her and like given her like a little wink or something. Just kind of saying like, hey, I know who you are. Like, they met, but not that long ago, probably like a year or two removed. He was probably, you know, 12 or 13, maybe like the last time that they met. He's like 15, 16 now. So it's been a little bit, but it hasn't been so long to where he looks drastically different than he did before. She's like, I know my mans. I know who it is. So I definitely would have liked to see him give her like a little hint. I understand why he's trying to keep his identity hidden. He's, you know, he's wanted from, you know, from the kingdom. You know, he went there and, you know, he stole the main girl. You know, he stole Celia, and, you know, he stole her during the wedding and everything. So like, he's a big wanted man. So I get why he's continuing to hide his identity. But of course, this was a girl that he was very close to since he was a child. This is the girl that kind of really gave him an opportunity, who really brought him here for the reason, who, you know, he's the one that she saved, yada, 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 yada. So I don't know really how I feel about that. I have mixed feelings on it. But at the end of the day, I think this was still a really good episode. I still really enjoyed it. It's still more Spirit Chronicles. And if you guys have the pleasure, which I played the clip at the beginning, if you guys have the pleasure of watching the dub, it is like, I feel like I could maybe outperform a couple of the VAs. And when I typically fuck around, I usually don't really feel like that. But this is one of those times where I legitimately feel like I think I could do a better job than at least a couple of these VAs. And that tells you how bad the actual VA actually is. But it's one of those things to where it's like, it's so bad, it's kind of charmy in a way too. It feels like that game, like that really like old school game that you like, I really love, but I know the voice acting is bad, but it's just so charming. And that's really how it is. I feel like that's how the dubbed acting is. And I love it for it. I just eat it up. I think it's really, really good stuff. So anyways, 7 out of 10 for me for this episode. Again, this was episode number 6 of Spirit Chronicles. Episode 6, right? 5, 6? Yeah. Episode 6, Spirit Chronicles. See you guys for episode 7 as Peak continues. All right, my friends. Peace out. See you next week.